Hi everyone! So we're going to answer another question here, and this one is from Ellen. So hi Ellen if you're watching. So Ellen asked you guys, Ellen said, hey, just wondering if you miss warm food. I am vegan and could never go raw. Okay, so number one, Ellen, don't say that you can never go raw, because you most certainly can. Everybody can. Of course, you're going to say that in the beginning, or even when you are first thinking about it. You have all these overwhelming thoughts of like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. You know what? They say never say never, and when it comes to something like this, yes, you can do anything. You can do anything, and there's that other saying, that you can do anything that you set your mind to. So we limit ourselves. The only way that we are limited is when we limit ourselves, okay? I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard that saying too, and that is so true also. So to answer your question, Ellen, I'm just wondering if you miss warm food. You guys, no. I do not miss warm food. That is one thing, is a lot of people, when they're cold, they gravitate to cooked food. For some reason, they like to use cooked food as a tool for warming them up, because when you eat hot or cooked food, it's warm. You can feel the heat inside, you know, and somehow it warms the body up. But it's just like when you eat cold food, when you eat maybe like ice cream or really cold refrigerated foods or meals, that coldness, you can feel the coolness, the coldness in it, and it actually makes you cold. And of course, that's why when it is warm outside, we go for the nice creams, you know, and the colder meals, so it cools us down. And then of course, for a lot of people, they like to, when it's cold, they like to go for those hot meals to warm them up. But that's where I think it's worse going for the cooked foods and the warm foods than it is going for the more cooler type, lower temperature, cooler, colder foods. I think there's a much more intense effect when you eat cooked foods and really high temperature cooked foods. That is one thing for me. Do I miss the warm foods? Absolutely not. Because for me, I don't use, and I never have used warm foods or hot foods as a tool to warm me up here in Alaska. For me, I have learned, and I have always done this, that in order to stay warm is you get yourself by a heater, you get yourself in a hot dang shower, take yourself a nice hot long bath, get yourself a big comforter, fuzzy blanket, fuzzy socks, tons of sweaters, scarves, hats, gloves, snow pants, the works, you know, and that's how you stay warm. And for me, I mean, before I went raw vegan, before I even knew about raw vegan, I never used warm or hot foods as a tool to warm me up, because I've always thought that, you know what, there's no hot foods that can keep you warm in this type of climate. Now for some people it's different, but that's how it is for me, you guys. But now that I am raw vegan and have been raw vegan for several years now, and I'm still here in Alaska, I have found that I most definitely don't miss warm food or hot foods, because I enjoy the raw meals and the raw fruits and vegetables just the way they are at room temperature. Now when I have my dinner meals are not cold. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who think that raw vegan meals, since it's not cooked or anything, they think it's cold. No, it's not cold. It's at room temperature. And when your food is at room temperature, you most definitely can taste the flavor so much more. And that's another thing, is when people eat hot cooked and warm foods, they literally have to blow on it to cool it down in order to consume it. So you're essentially trying to get it down to room temperature to eat it. So why would you cook it in the first place? Why would you eat it warm in the first place? You know, at room temperature, foods, the plant foods at room temperature are perfect. It's not cold. It's not cold at all. It's very pleasant. And so that's why I don't miss warm food or hot foods or cooked foods. Now, if you are someone who is missing the warm or cooked foods, I know in the raw arena here that there is a certain temperature you can warm the plant foods up to that will still keep it in its raw state without destroying any nutrients or enzymes or the structure of the plant food. There's a certain temperature that you can heat it up to or warm it up to, and so you can still kind of get that warm effect that you still crave or that you still desire, that you can't get over. Maybe you can't get over that just yet, you know. And but then you can also go down the route for the spicy fruits, like hot peppers, like chili peppers. There's cayenne pepper and all these other hot peppers out there. There's a lot of habaneros. There's a lot of hot peppers out there, and those things can actually literally start making you sweat, you know, and you didn't even cook anything, and it heats you up. And then of course there's garlic and there's ginger also, and then there's a lot of other plant foods and plant roots that you can use in your dressings and sauces and your meals and everything that actually kind of produce a more warming effect in the body, and you're not even cooking your food. Because there is a problem, in my opinion, you guys, there is a problem when it comes to when you start cooking your food. I really think it's very important not to cook your food, even if it is plant foods. But again, it's all up to you on how you view health, and how you view a vegan or raw vegan, or how you view eating properly, you know. And I know for me personally, I think it's very important not to cook food. I really think it's not good to cook your food. And of course steaming is a whole nother issue too, but I think it's good never to ever touch your oven, never ever touch a microwave, never ever touch something or use a utensil that heats your food up, because that is one major thing that has led to our downfall in our health, is by cooking our food. So that's just my opinion. That's just what I've learned, you guys, and it makes sense to me. Okay, so do I miss cooked and warm foods? Absolutely not. I love it at room temperature. I've got so much more flavor and enjoyment out of it, and the structure of the plant foods are absolutely wonderful and perfect. And I also think, I just want to say one more thing here, is that if you live in a climate where you seriously cannot get over eating cooked food because your climate is too cold, that's the number one problem right there, is we were not meant to be in cold climates. We're meant to be in closer to the equator, where it is warm year round, where we are warm. And because that, you see what the effect has when the further north you go. A lot of people start desiring those denser foods. They start desiring those hotter foods just to keep themselves warm. So right there, that is a big problem. That's a big problem. And so that, I think, is a part of health that you should really take an account, look into, and really seriously think about. Like, if you really want good health and you seriously can't get yourself off of cooked food, maybe you should look at the climate and environment that you're in, and really try to think about relocating so you can eat the way you're meant to and designed to, so you won't have those intense cravings and desires for that. Because when you're in a hot, warmer climate, no one really desires cooked food, really. From what I've seen, everybody kind of desires the more water-rich foods, and cooked food never really is a problem. The problem when cooked food comes about for most people is when they're cold, and also because it's just a bad habit since we've all been brought up on cooked food and everything. But a good chunk of it also is because we're just in a colder climate than we're naturally supposed to be in, you know. So those are just my thoughts and opinions on that there, guys. Okay, so I'll stop filming here, guys. I'll let you guys go. Remember to love being raw. Put a big old smile on your face today. I hope I did that for you, and I'll see you next video. Okay, bye guys.